one that I may very well have to donate for this. It is a magnetic Katamari from Uncommonly Nerd Made. It is adorable. It is a $10 minimum single donation. And yeah, Katamari Damacy is one of my very favorite series. So I'm putting in a donation. If you want a chance at a magnetic Katamari to roll up some fun into your life, that is a $10 minimum donation. That last run, that was so high adrenaline that I think we could stand to slow it down just a little bit to relax and get comfy. And on the way to that, we'd like to thank FM Kilo for a $150 donation saying, 47 deaths, that seems a bit low, but let's add 3. Okay, still too low. Multiply that by 3? Yeah, that feels about right. Great run. Let's get that SM64 blindfolded run. There can never be too much GDQ. And now that I don't feel the blood rushing in my ears quite as hard anymore, I think we are ready for a lovely slow drive with our friend Bullets.
All right. Thank you very much. This is the titular slow drive. We have our lovely sloth here, which 5 seconds ago, before we went live, I realized that if you move your analog stick around, the car bounces around. It's not important at all, but I felt like people on the stream would really want to know that. So with me, I have Metallama, who's going to be helping commentate.
Hello there.
A little bit of background real quick is that I speedran last year 36 games about 36 different animals. This is one of the games that I kind of latched onto and started doing a bunch of stuff with. So, and then somehow we fell forwards and are now doing this for GDQ. So dreams can become true, So we're gonna get it started in 3. Actually, no, the timing starts right after this cutscene. So I'll play this out so we can get the very important plot for this. So this is us. We're the sloth. We have flannel on. The unfortunate thing is we can't change what color our oh wait, sorry. One thing I forgot. We do have a donation incentive for this. Sorry, I have to cut off the cutscene early. For the decal incentive for Slowdrive, what ended up winning for that?
Let me take a look at that for you real quick. Let's see. Decal choice says it is clouds. Let's put some clouds on that car of ours.
All right. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we can't change the color of the car because the only thing that's unlocked is because of the achievements are these decals. So we have clouds though. So thank you very much for donating towards that. All right. Now, after I've stalled enough, here we go. This will be a very, very short cutscene. So this is us. Like I said, you unfortunately cannot change the color of your flannel. I wish that was one of the customization options. But yeah, so the idea of the game is that you're a sloth and you've been separated from your home, and you wake up and are trying to figure out where your tree went, and then notice a car is sitting unattended by the ocean. So obviously the only correct option is to steal it, and time starts now. All right, so this is our newly stolen car. So how this game ends up working is that we're doing these different time trials through these short courses, and if you look in the top right, you can see these different star times, and if we get at that time or below it, we get that amount of stars. And the kind of short-term goal of the run is that we need to get 85 different stars across all the courses, and that unlocks the final area. And at that point, we just need to rush to do the final level. And you would think, we're doing a speed run, we're gonna get 3 stars on everything anyways. But the dev actually made these 3-star times like really, really difficult. Like if there's a shortcut you can take during it, the 3-star time accounts for that. Some of them are more precise than others. There's some that are, even after running this for like 70 plus hours, it's still really difficult to get a 3-star time for it consistently. So they're not easy times. So there's a little bit of wiggle room with getting things, but we're gonna try to obviously for these opening beginning levels, try to get as many of the 3-star times as possible. But Metallama, did you want to explain a little bit about kind of how the general layout of levels are, like the structure of the 4 levels?
So each area is comprised of 12 levels that are sort of in sets of 4. There are 3 normal-ish levels in a row, and then the 4th level is actually a medley of those 3 levels that are basically placed end to end. You play all 3 of them in a row, which is kind of cool in that, you know, as you've been seeing, we have some certain shortcuts that we can take in each level. Like, the next segment after this one, Bullets did a nice little hop over the wall to get to the end goal early. But the problem is that doesn't really leave you set up to continue past there. So actually in the kind of full medley level, you actually take the intended route around because you sort of need to drive after getting over there.
Yeah, and you get a bunch of speed, so instead of going around like before, because the hills slow you down, you have enough speed you can kind of just power through it. So so we're on to the 3rd set of levels now. The kind of harder ones. We're still in the 1st area, so a lot of this stuff is kind of introducing ideas of this. We're doing certain things like as we're going around corners, we can kind of go off the edge a little bit and let our tire clip on the edge of it, and it'll kind of snap us a little bit quicker into the turn. Sometimes it doesn't work and we just end up kind of going off the edge, but the concept at least is to do that and try to have that happen. This is by far the hardest 3-star to get, and it doesn't look like it should be. I don't know why it's so hard, but you have to like take just like the right line for this to get it.
Yeah, cut the corners just right.
We missed it by 0.09. So you'll see that kind of often, is that we'll either get 3-star times or miss them by less than 1/10 of a second. The game it counts to the like 100th of a second for the timing, which is nice in some ways, but also like it can be brutal if you miss like by 100th of a second for trying to get the time. So when we do the medley for this, we need to make sure to keep control of our car as we jump off that edge, and then kind of kill our speed a little bit as we go around here. And now we're actually entering the bonus level section. So it doesn't matter where we get the stars from. So for all the other areas, we're not doing these bonus levels, but because they're really short in the 1st area, we're gonna do them here. So the idea with this is that you just need to go through all the circles that are in these bonus levels, and then get to the end. So it opens up to a lot of different routing for it and trying to puzzle through things. So usually the levels are a little bit more straightforward. Like you go from one end to the other, and the only thing preventing you is the terrain. For this, you can really get the circles in any order, but the game kind of directs you towards figuring out the fastest way of doing it with the 3-star times. So we'll do the first 3 of these because they're fairly quick. Our goal.
Bullets. Would you like some donations?
This would be a perfect time for that. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We have $5 from Prolix, who says, "Hi, Bullets. All right, sloths seem cool. However, I'll admit that I don't know too much about them. A big favorite of mine is the wombat. They're great. You can share your opinions of wombats with us in the chat if you want to, or just talk more about sloths." We also have $47 from Wolsk, who says, "Thanks for having me. I love everyone who joined in, and I appreciate that you all managed to meet the donation goal together. And hey, a special round of applause for ateatree." Thank you so much, everyone. I'm not going to play the sound effect again. I'm sorry.
ateatree is doing a great job. Thank you very much. Metallama, since we're in a new area, would you like to give us a wonderful sloth fact while we complete this first level?
The donation incentive talked more about, animals, and I have actually compiled a small list of some fun facts about sloths. So this would be a perfect time to introduce 1 or 2 of those. So a sloth's max speed when threatened is about 0.17 miles per hour. Sloths are known for...
I like the when threatened. It's just like...
I'm I mean, you might be encouraged to move a little bit faster if you had like a jaguar on your tail.
I don't think it matters.
That probably.
It just leaves me wondering what their max speed is when, say, hungry.
I feel like they're like always hungry. I don't know.
I mean, they can eat a lot. It's true. But it takes, actually, a fun fact about their eating habits. Because of the bacteria in their digestive system, it actually takes them 30 days to actually fully digest a leaf that they eat. It is, their metabolism is very slow, just like they are.
All right, so we're in the second area now. So we got about 42 or 43 stars from the first area, which is a little bit over what we want, which is good. So we're a little bit ahead on our count for stars. This is the slowest levels by far, the second area. So the other areas unlock as you get a certain amount of stars as well. So we're just going to get enough stars really to unlock the third area and then kind of get out of here. Because we want to prioritize the faster levels as we do this. Like this level is a minute long to do the medley for, so it's like one of the longest levels we do for the run, and we're kind of forced into doing it, unfortunately. It's a really brutal level if you either have a mistake happen on it or if you don't end up getting 3 stars, because there's a bit of a balancing act with, if you make a mistake on a level, you get like 2 stars or 1 star on it. Do you go back and do it? Do you do a bonus level later on? There's a little bit of like, if something goes wrong, you kind of have to figure it out as you go and kind of be ready to do some additional levels. So there's a lot of, you kind of need a decent birth of knowledge for this game to keep going with it. And you just kind of need a little bit of mindfulness of kind of where you're sitting with stars, because I think for my route, you can miss like maybe 6 or 7 stars total before you get to the final area, so it ends up being kind of tight for it, so it can be a little spooky.
Yeah, and for each area, the levels do unlock consecutively, so you have to beat.
Yeah, you can't skip to the next set of 4 until you've completed the medley.
Yeah, so you need to complete them 1, 2, 3, 4 before you can get to the next ones. It's not like you can skip to, say, shorter levels, complete all the shorter ones before doing the medleys or doing them at all. It's just kind of how the game works.
So we should be at 60 stars after this, if I did my math correctly. We're at 61, actually. So this is obstacles. Obstacles is a lot of cycle-based things. The cycles for this game only start once you press the gas pedal. So at the beginning, I have to tap the gas pedal, let the platform start moving towards me, and then hit the cycle so I can keep my momentum. Same thing we're gonna do here. Let the platform start going. This one you have to be a little bit more liberal with your gas with and kind of let it off here. And you don't want to go too fast because you'll go off the edge, but you don't want to go too slow because the platform will like forcibly turn you away from it. So a lot of these are knowing when to accelerate and when to brake. So like for this block, you want to get right onto it. You don't want to accelerate too early because then you run to the wall. You don't want to accelerate too late because then you don't get the 3-star time. So this is one of the hardest levels, actually. It's the medley of the last 3 we did, because it's like one big cycle, and you have to get this correct here. There we go. The hardest part is definitely the second to the third area here, where you go across here and you have to kind of let off the gas. Keep your
this
speed
one slides
and
you pretty quickly.
Oh, good. Okay, that was really nice, actually. Sometimes you kick up on 2 wheels and you just kind of spin out, but that was actually really clean. So should be able to get 3 stars on this and keep going. Actually, that was almost 2 minutes, or not 2 minutes. That was 2 minutes below the 3-star time. Wow, we got negative time. That's incredible.
Yeah, the devs really didn't have confidence on that level. But then again, with that level of sloth drifting, that was.
Yeah,
was mightily impressive.
Hitting all the cycles for that is really tough. Amaranth, who's the other runner does this game, doesn't go for that cycle. Just takes the 2-star time, I believe, for that, which is completely fair. It's a rough level. It can lose you a lot more time than it saves you if you go for it and keep messing it up. So we have to make it to this platform, keep enough of our momentum to get to the finish line over here.
That's the thing with these levels too, is that there are no checkpoints. If you fall off the edge or if you run into something, there are no checkpoints. You just gotta start again from the top.
So if you break it the right time there, you go right underneath the block and you don't run into this. You can get kind of dicey with it and get really close to running into both these blocks, but you don't need to do it. We can be nice and cozy. So I think this should be the last level. There's an extra level I can do if I don't have enough stars. Okay, we're good. All right, so we've unlocked Mist right here. So these are the hardest levels, like by far. The difficulty jumps up a decent bit for this. This first level's obviously pretty easy, and there's another level that's going to be even easier than that. But beyond that, it's a lot of like really precise driving and kind of hugging corners. Like this one, you need to cut in just the right time, and then because of the mist, it's called mist, the area, but because of the mist that's everywhere, it does kind of make it difficult to line yourself up correctly to avoid different platforms or just generally make the difficult. I'm gonna go for the fast cycle in this. I never really do that during runs, but it'll be funny to go for.
I mean, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, you know, it was worth it. All right, so
We can't
usually
say,
what I do is
we can't say that there are no sloths harmed in the making of this game, as some
unfortunately.
things can be.
I didn't see anything bad happen to the sloth, just the car.
There we go.
Let's go with that. Yeah, let's go with that.
So stars don't really matter anymore. Actually, this medley is really cool, so I'll bring attention to that. So we had to do all those levels normally, but we can get enough speed here where we can actually just like kick our way up onto here using that ramp. Now we're on grass, which makes it like really slippery controls, which you have to kind of watch out for. And then we can pop onto here, and then if you point yourself in just the right way, you just jump straight onto the finish line. And if you look at the 3-star time, the dev actually accounted for you being able to do that, because I was only like half a second off from the 3-star time. So
yeah, it's really cool how the dev, noticed the strats that could be done. Oh yes, this is a very short level.
Like that strat where you can reverse because there's no back to the start of the level. You can just reverse into the finish line.
But yeah, kind of as a consequence of the 3 individual levels and then the medley level, so many different strats unlock when you're doing, say, the individual levels by themselves, but also when you're doing them all together. You mentioned at one point that you build speed, and it allows you to do different interesting skips in the medley level, which I think is super cool, which just gives you a lot of creativity in trying to come up with a fast way to do levels back to back.
This is the 8th level for Mist, and we're actually going to do what Metallama was just talking about. We're going to build enough speed here where we can kind of bump off this ramp and pop onto here, and then we're able to skip going to the right side. So we're actually at 4 levels left at this point, and it's the 4 hardest levels of the entire game. These are very difficult, especially Mist 12. How long did it take you to beat the final level of this game?
It took me about, I don't know, between 2 days, maybe around an hour of just grinding, an hour plus maybe, even of grinding just a single minute 10 level.
We can do these little...
It's pretty hard.
You gotta pop up on our wheels there. Actually, it went really cleanly there. Popping up on our wheels. Sometimes
this has been a really good run.
Yeah, it's actually been really, really clean. We have to drive literally on the side of the road here as the area is kind of falling apart. You need to maintain your speed here because you need to go up this hill to get all the way up. But we should be able to make it. And then,
honestly,
we have...
What is the Sloth Kingdom doing? Why are there roads like this? I really want to know.
Where are our sloth taxes going to? All right, this is Mist 12. This is the hard one.
Some of these skips that he's gonna do are, especially in the last leg, are really hard. As I was saying before.
Yeah, so instead of popping ourselves up, we use the ramps as ramps, but you have to not go too fast or else you'll slam right into that ramp. And then we have to make this blind jump right here. I lost too much speed on it.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah, you didn't get the bounce off of that right.
Yeah, well,
that skip right there is like super super cool. And when I first saw like him do that in a run, I was just like, how? Well, especially after I played it myself, it was just like, oh gosh.
yeah, keeping your speed going here is the difference between making these jumps and not. Like, it's so easy to lose your speed at this point, and to not be able to. Okay, well, this is awkward. I guess we're gonna have to do this the normal way then, because I lost all my speed.
If you have too much, it's This is
my wheel fell off the side of the road.
This is why this level is so hard, because any small mistake can cause you to fall off the level or lose too much speed, and then you're not able to get to the next part. That's why this level
they all build on each other.
I gotta say, this speed run ends on a really tough one. Really makes like this last level like so important to.
I tried to bail from jumping up there on the grassy area. All right, let's do this.
You
You
know,
got
Bullets,
this, dude.
Metallama, we've been a little slothful with our donations. Do we have time to get to a couple while we make this level happen?
The power of donations will compel me. Go for it.
Let's do it. We've got $25 from Dirk Mathis, who says, I have to admit, I haven't seen this sloth game before, but color me intrigued. Good luck on the run, and thanks to all the staff and runners for this great event. We've got $25 from Hendrik, who says, I'm a simple man. I see sloths, I donate. And $25 from all the swears, who says, okay, one more donation this year, just to make sure I'm in the running for that Night in the Woods and Scott Pilgrim print and the Magnetic Katamari. Great prizes, great cause, nothing could be finer. Also wanted to take this opportunity for a reminder for anyone who donates to check and see if your employer will match your donations. I know mine does, and I'll be submitting ASAP. Keep on keeping on, GDQ crew. Donation to the Sloth Guy's choice, because sloths are awesome. And one more, a $555 donation from Alec XVS, who says, I think I missed the last $5 train, so here's my own little train. Appreciate all that you're doing. The runners, the tech, the commentators, and the chat. Here's to another great AGDQ and a much needed stream of joy and positivity.
And
that's time. See, the power of donations got us there. Thank you very much. We had one attempt. I got to the end and I had too much speed, so I literally shot over the top of the hill. I've not had that happen before. It was hilarious.
That was tragic.
Yeah, but that is the last level is a killer, but I'm happy we got to make it through. So thank you very much appreciate the games committee for showing this off. I definitely was really excited to be able to bring this to you guys. Thank you very much for everyone supporting and donating. Means a lot, and best of luck with the rest of the marathon.
That was just the coziest. There were sloths. There was, some nice, safe, careful driving. We all got where we were going safely. I love it. We have $50 from Sakari Lepa, who says, thank you again this year. It's always a nice week when GDQ is running. Love you all. I can do nothing more on top of that comment, but echo that sentiment just the same. Thank you, Sakari Lepa. It's time for a few quick messages from Twitch, and then we'll be right back with you. Welcome back to Awesome Games Done Quick 2021 Online. My name is Ateatree, and thank you for joining us. We have, for your enjoyment, an interview with our next runner. It's going to be Blechy interviewing Old School Richard about Alwa's legacy.
Hey everybody, I'm here with Old School Richard, who very shortly is going to be running Alwa's Legacy. Now, Richard, I mean, I've been following you for a long time. We've been buds for a long time. We've raced each other in like the greats such as Strider and competed for that together. You just have this very, you changed your name a year ago to Old School Richard to reflect kind of your interest in games. It's been really cool kind of following all that. So I'm a bit interested in, as you found, you're going to be running Alwa's Legacy. And this is, of course, the sequel to Alwa's Awakening, which was released in February 2017. But I went back through your kind of Twitter feed, and you actually started playing Alwa's Awakening in July 2015, like a year and a half before the full game even released. So I wanted to hear a little bit about kind of how you found out about the first game in the first place and how you got into it.
I was at a retro gathering, retro fair in Sweden, and the developers of the game, Elden Pixels, they are from Sweden. So I was there with my buddies, like Dexter. We did like a little speedrunning thing at the event, and we just met those developers and tried their first demo, and it was we both fell in love immediately, and we knew like right away, like, okay, we're gonna speedrun this when it comes out. And it was like really early.
What was it about the game? How could you tell?
Music, the art, like pixel graphics, amazing. It just visually appealing, and we were just looking forward to it. We saw some possibilities as well for like speedrunning tech with different weapons that you get, or magic, I should say.
Yeah. So then the game was released a year and a half later. At this point, it sounds like you already knew you wanted to speedrun it. I saw you got a 1:14:05 was one of your first posted runs. Over time, I think that's become to what the current record is at 38:03. Very cool stuff. So I guess you were talking a little bit about how you met the developers at the small kind of gaming kind of meetup. One cool thing I love about indie games is that you can communicate directly with the developers of this game. So you met them at this meetup. Did you kind of continue to chat with them afterwards, or did it kind of die off after the meetup?
Yeah, we hooked up on Twitter and kept in touch, and we got further further demos to try out and help them out a little bit and give them some tips on what we think should be changed with physics and whatnot. What we thought would be a greater game.
Gotcha. And were you able to separate kind of the interest in speedrunning with kind of a more casual playthrough angle, or were you kind of like trying to angle in ways to make it a better speedrun?
No, I think it was pretty unbiased on that, actually. I know at least on location when we tried it out the first time, Dexter was going very hard at trying to break the game completely and go out of bounds.
Like in person?
Yeah, like at the site. We had the game designer and the programmer there, and the programmer was like, when they saw Dexter play, he was like, oh.
Yeah. So I mean, now Alwa's Legacy, of course, came out earlier this year in June, and so you find out it's released, and so talk to me a little bit about kind of how the development of this game came as far as learning to speedrun it. Was it a similar kind of path of you started playing pre-release versions, or this time around did you have to wait for the full release?
I don't remember exactly. I feel like it was announced fairly short, or like not that long before the actual release. They had a Kickstarter, And if you back them up with a certain pledge, you could go for demos and whatnot. But I was pledged for just the copy itself when it got out, because I just had so much trust in them. Like I
Right.
I know, and I saw the trailer, like, was amazing. I could tell right away
Yeah.
that they had like really stepped up their game. They learned a lot from their first game, Alwa's Awakening, and just improved so much. And that's how I feel after playing the full game as well.
Because I mean, like, so I mentioned that Always Awakening, the record is 3803. Always Legacy is an 835. How is it almost 5 times faster than Always Awakening?
Breaking out of bounds pretty almost immediately. It's the first like 3 minutes, first 3 minutes or so starts off a little bit slow due to like intro cutscene and a little bit of dialogue. But then when we just get a quick little power up, the block, because you have some magic in the game, and with the block you can do some really cool tricks where you get some extra jumps mid-air, and we use it as well to initiate some sips and clip out of bounds, and we go straight to the finale of the game immediately, pretty much.
Were those tricks found pretty quickly, or did it take time?
Pretty fast, actually. We had like almost up to 10 people, I think, within like a week, started running the game and trying to find stuff. So it was very active right in the beginning, and it got pushed down really fast. I think day one when it came out, a runner, my rival for Alwa's Awakening as well, Van666, he had like a glitchless run of like 40 minutes. And then just more and more things. It started from there and just shaved off a few things with some tricks, and then very fast it went down to like the 20-15 minute range with the help of a few tricks.
Oh man, I honestly can't wait to see it. Yeah, it's going to be really cool stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure to talk to you. I love these games. Elden Pixels is an awesome developer, and I just can't wait to see the Always Legacy run coming up soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everyone. Like that interview just showed us, you thought this was just a regular games block. You thought it was indie games. You thought it was awesome games, but it's also a secret Metroidvania block. That's right. These next 2 games are both different flavors of Metroidvania. So get excited for that. First, a few donations. We've got $15 from Britty Buttercup, who says, "These current prizes really speak to me. It's super cool Night in the Woods is in this marathon. Wanted to donate again before I went to bed. Night all." Donation goes towards Blindfolded SM64. $10 from an anonymous donor, but the important part is their comment, which says, "Katamari prize. I just had to. Let's roll up cancer." And $10 from Act Fast 231, who says, "Good causes and a chance for a magnet Katamari? Sign me up." That's right, we have wonderful prizes that you can see if you go to gamesdonequick.com, including but not limited to that magnetic Katamari from Uncommonly Nerd Made. That is a $10 minimum donation from right now until the end of the Inertial Drift run. And speaking of, we also have a donation incentive for Inertial Drift to see the Snowy Mountain Sprint. We are at $740 out of $3,500. So I want to see some donations come in if you want to see that Snowy Mountain Sprint in Inertial Drift. We also have $5 from Sloth, who says, "Can't wait for the Slowdrive speedrun." Thank you, Sloth. And I'm getting word that we are ready. So, old school Richard, please take it away.